Committed to equipping you to hone your media skills better to stand out from the crowd as a go-to expert in your field. Each week, Rich Bontrager interviews top leaders, influencers, authors, speakers, podcasters, and media professionals about how to leverage media best to help you shine brighter on camera and stage as a go-to expert. Now, here's your host, The Trigger, Rich Bontrager.
Welcome. Normally, you see me at 2 p.m. live streaming right now. Today, we're combining both 2 p.m. live with the Rock the Stage show and bringing them together for a daytime special edition. From where? The Batcave. That's right. We're going to have a great special edition show here today, live from the Batcave. And we're going to be talking to two cosplay heroes about what they do, why they do it, and the impact they make, besides having a great time dressing up and rocking their costumes. There's a reason for what they do, and it's a mission. So we're going to get deeper into that in just a few minutes. As we get rolling, we do want to thank once again our sponsors for making this all possible, the National Speakers Association. The NSA is celebrating 50 years of helping speakers learn their craft, get more stages, elevate their communication skills, and much, much more. If you want to learn more about the NSA, check out the National Speakers Association, the NSA. And Audavita Studios is now powering Rock the Stage. Audavita Studios has a very experienced team. They're paired with the state-of-the-art remote recording process, and they help you bring your message to life more. They work with you to produce your audiobooks, your podcast series, and distribute them worldwide throughout the marketplace of streaming content. If you want more information, learn about Audavita, go to audavita.com. And again, they were going to take this show and turn it into a podcast and have it re-streaming very, very soon. But coming up today, we are going to get into cosplay with Barry and Laura. Now, they've been with us before for a different show, and we're going to dive a little bit into that topic as well. But cosplay is what we're going to be talking about here tonight. They are a dynamic duo, not just in marriage, but also in the vibrant world of cosplay. Long-term superhero enthusiasts, their joint venture of cosplay started back in March of 2022 with their aim of being able to give back. This has quickly evolved into a casual hobby, now into a big platform for change. They've shared passions and enthusiasms are apparent in the costumes they have, and they really stand out. They jump out of the comic book pages live at Comic-Cons and other events. Laura and Barry have turned their cosplaying into a mission-driven pursuit. They are steadfast supporters of numerous charities, including the Pilgrims Hospice, the Tree of Hope, and the soon-to-be Great Ormond Street. We'll talk more about those, I'm sure. Their whole goal is to raise funds, raise awareness for those important causes, underscoring the firm beliefs in giving back and helping others. Here are Wonder Woman and Superman, Laura and Barry.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. It's lovely to be here.
And as you can tell right away, they're from the UK. They're from over the pond, and our time zones are all whacked out different. So it's great to have you here with us today, and thanks for dressing up for us.
You're more than welcome. I mean, this is just what we wear naturally around the house, of course.
Now, you guys have really had an impact with this whole cosplay thing. It's only been a couple of years. By the way, we have hello coming in from Jan, one of our regular viewers here. She said, you rock. But you guys got into this. Why did you first get into it? Was it just to have fun? Was it to dress up? Was it because superheroes are all the rage? Why?
Do you want me to?
You go first.
Okay, fine. So a friend of ours actually owns a comic shop called Get Ready Comics in Rochester in Kent. And we went in there and he stopped us and he went, oh, it's Diana and Clark Kent. And we was like, what? He was like, you guys have got to do this. He does Batman. But the main purpose was that he does this not just for fun, but he goes and works for Make-A-Wish Foundation. You might have it over in America.
Yes, we do.
And he goes in, he was like, it would be amazing if you guys did this. And then we, did it all together. So we were like, great. Okay, that's cool. We kind of put it on the back burner. But we then really developed the idea a lot more January 2021, when Barry's mum was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And she had a short battle. It was 5 weeks from diagnosis to passing.
Wow.
And in that time, we were getting the costume together, and she never actually saw us in the costume. She saw bits of it. We would send her bits and pieces and stuff. She saw bits of it. And our first charity gig was to raise money to shave Barry's beard. And we did that to raise money for the Pilgrims Hospice, who looked after her in her final few days. Yeah, there you go. That's me, pretending to do the beard shave. As you can see, it's quite an impressive beard there, isn't it, Barry?
It was huge, and it started as a lockdown beard. So we grew our hair. All the friends grew our hair, and we didn't shave, and we just see how much of a hobo we could look. And then we thought we've got to be able to do something with this, because I wanted to get rid of it because it was becoming a real food trap for me. But we thought, how can we make this into something? And we just put it out there and said, who wants to get rid of the beard? And it just grew and grew and grew. And we done a really.
How long did you have the beard? How long did you grow that beard? That's a very thick beard.
That was a 2-year lockdown beard.
No, so that was your COVID beard.
That was the COVID beard, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And we raised, I think it was £4,516 for the Pilgrims Hospice, and that's Shane, who shaved Barry's beard. And as we were shaving it down, we were doing different looks. So we did Stanley, we did Tony Stark, we did
Doctor Strange.
We did all of them, just to have a bit of a laugh with it and everything. But yeah, so we raised £4,500 for the Pilgrims Hospice, and that was really our first venture into using these as forces for good, to make a difference.
What was the response out of that from the public, from the people that saw this in action? And then at the end, you are clean shaven Superman already in costume.
It was phenomenal, because we walked up and down the high street with the beard, and then we walked up and down the high street without the beard, and we were getting called left, right, and centre. We even gate crashed someone's wedding.
We
were in their wedding photos without the beard. So yeah, it was good. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Jan absolutely loves it. That's absolutely great to see the impact. So that was kind of the origin of this all. Did you think it was going to become this big of a thing?
No, we started off as doing it for fun and just sort of raising a little bit of money here and there. But as we've started to develop this and go to more Comic Cons and get involved with more charities, it's just sort of growing and growing and growing. But we're not pushing it. We're just letting it evolve naturally. We don't want to make it a business or anything like that. We just do it for fun, and the fun it gives other people when we walk up and down the street and meet them.
Just like with any business that you have values and words, and ours is giving back. That's all we wanted to do with these outfits, is to give back. And even when we go to some of the cons, we go there and we don't spend a lot of time outside. We're inside, and we're always meeting people, because as you know, one of our hashtags is smile and pass it on. And we've got 3 million on the board. We want to raise 3 million smiles with people.
Wow. So this really has become a true mission for you. It started out as a very personal mission, but it's taken on a whole nother life to itself, hasn't it?
Yes. It is. But the thing that fills our cup up is when we go to the charities like Tree of Hope, Great Ormond Street, we're seeing, and Demelza House, we're seeing these children that are in end life care, or they're fairly disabled, where they're struggling to get through life. And when we go and see them, the smiles on their faces is just like, wow. But here's the nugget. You're dealing with the children, you're playing with them, and you catch their parents in the corner of your eye. That's the magic. When you see the parents smiling at the kids because the kids haven't got a condition anymore, they are just in the moment and they are loving it, and the parent sees that. That's the nugget. That's so powerful.
Well, it's that brief moment of joy. It's that brief moment of, I'm not in this situation. I'm with Wonder Woman. I'm with Superman. I'm with my heroes. and it breaks everything for that moment. I'm sure it has a major impact on everybody.
100%. I feel like Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then they'll tell every nurse, they'll tell every doctor, you know who is here today?
Even the staff love it. They're like, oh my gosh, can we get a picture, please?
Yeah.
Or, you know, and they all want to have a picture. And we're like, yeah, no problems. That's what we're here for, you know. And we always say, whenever someone will meet me and Barry, we have a little system and process. So I'm always on the left because I always have my shield, and Baz is always on the right. And we always say, come and jump in the middle, do your superhero pose. So they'll do their superhero pose with us. And then you will sometimes ask them about what they're going to do as a good deed, don't you?
Always ask the kids what they're going to do as a good deed. And it gets them thinking about doing things for other people and how they can make this world a better place.
Yeah.
So now you guys really do strike the pose. You fill these costumes. I've been to a lot of comic conventions. I have dressed up back in the day, but my costume never came close to yours, or even the fact that I could fill them and portray. I mean, Laura, your body, your hair, everything looks like the gal that plays the current version of Wonder Woman. I mean, you could be a body double very easily, and I'm sure people have walked down the street and gone, "Is it? Is it not? Has it happened?"
I've never been taken for a body double as Gal, definitely not. But I mean, people do say, "Oh my gosh, the likeness is so amazing with the costumes and everything." And I do try to get it as close as I possibly can. But I mean, as you can see, I've got tattoos, and at first I thought, shall I cover them up? But then I was like, no, because cosplay is about your portrayal of the character, how you want to portray them. And this is how I love to, you know, portray Wonder Woman, basically.
Now, you guys have had a little bit of brush with celebrity of your own. We'll kind of phrase it that way. You have had, let me get this right, Channel 4 TV has brought you in. You've been at a Warner Brothers screening in costume. You were on a panel at the recent MCM London Comic-Con event on a panel. And Barry, did you guys create that panel? Did you guys host that panel?
We hosted it. This one here created it.
Well, we're live on LinkedIn, right? For
yes,
yours and yours. Well, in actual fact, it was LinkedIn that enabled that for me. So yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, LinkedIn. Last year, I reached out to the events manager, and I just said to them, "Hey, I've got a really cool idea for a panel." And I never thought I would hear anything back. Never thought. 5 minutes later, she messaged me. Great, what is it? And I have to admit, at that point, I didn't really know what it was. I just thought I would do a Richard Branson and think on my feet. And all of a sudden, and this is why our superhero life, that's what this is called, what Barry and I do on Instagram and everything. This is why this is so brilliant. None of this is forced. All of a sudden, it came to my head. Paul is the man
the comic shop owner.
Exactly, the comic shop book owner.
He is the instigator of all of this.
So
Paul, thank you. This is great, Paul. You are awesome.
So this is all him. And we were like, the confidence to cosplay. That's what it's got to be about. It's got to be about inspiring, motivating other people who want to get to do it, but they've got lots of different reasons why they feel they can't do it, or B, people are doing it and, you know, they're not quite fully leaning into it because they've got blocks and barriers. So what we set to do was get a few cosplayers together who were amazing and showcase them. It was never about Barry and I. It was about those guys, them sharing their love, them sharing their passion, them sharing, you know, their struggles to motivate and inspire the audience. And you know what, Rich? There was no seating room. There was people sitting on the floor, standing. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Full.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And a couple of people came up to us afterwards. They were like, oh, we weren't going to cosplay the next day, but after seeing the panel, they went and did their cosplay. And I was like, yes.
The confidence of cosplay was that panel since it went over so well, have you had any other invites for other conventions to kind of re-go do it again?
We're waiting on a reply from the New York Comic Con.
Yes.
So we've asked the New York Comic Con to see if we can go out and do the same thing out there in October. We're just waiting for a reply. So if you're watching, give us a reply. We come out and make the days.
But again, with all of this, with Barry and I and our superhero, nothing's ever forced. It's like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Whatever will be when we pitch up.
Now, you are coming to the New York is a pretty big Comic-Con. You guys are coming, right?
Yes, we are.
We're coming out in October.
We definitely are. Looking forward
Comments
to
are beginning to fly on. People are jumping on board with this, put out to the world the good, and it will come back to you. And thank you, Sarah, for that just a few moments ago. I'm going to bring that back in once again.
Sarah is lovely.
So true.
And Jan just thinks it's amazing. Again, people think it's kind of geeky. It's kind of childish. It's kind of foolish. And, people think this is somewhat kindly a relatively new thing. But in fact, I did some Googling, did some research. According to ChatGPT, it says cosplay began in 1984. But true confessions here, guys. I was at Star Trek conventions in the 70s, dressed up as James T. Kirk. Come on.
Of course.
So it may not have been cosplay, but we've been character players for a very long time. This is not a new thing, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, people say it's childish, but how great is it to be a child again and dress up and make people happy and put smiles on people's faces and not have this worry about what other people think of you? People are going to think whatever they want. But as long as we're happy, we're not doing any harm, and we're creating smiles and we're changing the way people see the world, it's a great thing to do.
One thing we always get is about our age. I mean, I'm 43. Baz is 45, right? They're like, oh, go and act your age. And I'm like, yeah, how old do you think these characters are that actually play the roles? Like, I think Robert Downey Jr. is like in his 50s. I definitely know that.
But you think the first Superman movie that come out with Christopher Reeves was 1978.
Yeah.
Who was born in 1978?
You were born. There you go, Baz.
Well, Jan agrees. We're all still that childlike nature with this. Well, even the recent Flash movie that you guys went for the grand opening of, Michael Keaton donned the cape and cowl and became Batman once again. And how old is Keaton?
I know, with the original Batline.
Yeah.
So that he the Batline, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we brought that up, now that we brought up the Batline, a lot of the actors have brought up over the years, these are really constraining, often heavy, especially if you're the Batman or the Iron Man suits. Now it's a lot of CG, but true confessions, you guys cannot sit down, can you?
No.
Or go to the toilet.
Can't sit down or go to the toilet. No, definitely not.
This is what we come to Rock the Stage for, the deep probing interview questions of you can't sit down in full costume. But I've actually heard that with a lot of the actors. Once you're in this, you're kind of trapped.
Yeah. You are. You have to manage yourself. You got to manage the heating because they get quite warm. They're restricted in the movements. And the Superman suit is very fragile. I don't know whether we can see how thin the material is.
Let me zoom in.
A lady stocking.
So it's super thin. So you've got to be really careful about who touches you, because everybody wants to come in and touch you. So we've got to be really mindful. And that's one of the reasons why we say adopt your superhero pose, because people just want to go boom and touch you. And the outfits don't rip and tear, so forth. So
Wonder Woman, step off stage for a second. We're going to have Superman give us his Superman pose. Here we go. Front and center, everybody. Look at that. There's the classic Superman pose. Now, which is kind of funny because Clark Kent is the biggest Boy Scout bumbling idiot, but Superman is totally different. Now, Superman, get off stage and let Wonder Woman come back in. Give me the Wonder Woman pose, the power pose. There we go. Now she doesn't have the sword, but I know if you have the sword, you have a great pose. Yeah, there you go.
Love it.
But the interesting thing is, this is our normal characters. Clark Kent is my alter ego, and Princess Diana is her alter ego. When you look at the other ones, they put the suits on to become the heroes. But this is who we are. We take the suits off to be in disguise.
Yeah.
They're loving the fact that you guys get to dress up and do this and have so much fun doing this. What is, if you each have one story that kind of conveys what you get to do when you put this on, you go across town, you do this, what's maybe one highlight, one memory for you, Laura, that has stuck out as I touched someone's life, I did something unique today?
So for me, I distinctly remember this. We went to MCM Comic Con in London. I think it was one of our first ones. And there was a dad with his little one come up. He was about 3-4 years old. And he was like, Wonder Woman is his absolute favorite. And I was like, oh, you okay? And I was like, fist bump. And he was being really shy and really like, oh, I didn't want to have a picture. And I was like, come on, let's just have a picture. And I leant in, and all of a sudden he just went and grabbed me around the neck and gave me the biggest bear hug. And I was like, that's so brilliant. That, do you know what I mean? Just,
he literally jumped out of his dad's arms.
Yeah, it was so lovely, blessed. And it was just, you could see how he was really shy, but then, once you kind of just spent a little bit time talking to them, what's your name, what's your favorite superhero, I like your t-shirt, this kind of thing, they kind of, come round, which is, so lovely. So lovely.
That is awesome. Here, the big coming in.
Yeah, it was very much so. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Barry? What's a special memory that has just stuck with you of something that you made the impact because you showed up as Superman?
Well, last Christmas we was at Demelza House doing the Christmas event for the kids, and we were standing around, and this little girl come up. She was about 7 years of age, and she's only just lost her younger sister. And well, this is getting me already. Yeah. And she comes, she goes, Superman, can you fly? And I was like, yeah, I can fly. She goes, can you fly up to see my sister, please? And I was just like, yeah. And I was just like, whoa. And it was just so, and I obviously I said, yes, I can do that for you, blah, 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 blah. And she just put a smile on her face, and she went off back to her mum, blah, blah, blah. And that was just like a knife coming in there. But just the little things when they believe it so much, and you can help them go through that grieving process.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Now, you guys really do. I mean, I'm going to share 2 more pictures here because you guys have had the privilege of really some great opportunities that come your way because of how you do authentically fill these costumes, how you bring the joy. But where was this done? This is you guys in superhero mode action.
Do you know what?
This was at the back of our house in a cornfield.
Yep, literally like a 1 minute walk from the back of our house.
Really?
Yeah. It's a cornfield there. A friend of ours, Keith, who is Super Muscle Man on Instagram, came down, and this is one of our very first photo shoots. And I said to him, I really wanted to do that pose, which is from Justice League, right at the very end where she hits and Darkseid and everything. That's exactly where that's taken, which is pretty cool.
Right in your own backyard. And then let me go. This was the Secret Con. This is a great shot.
So again, this is also taken about 30 seconds from our house. That is an old World War II bunker.
It's a gunning tower. So
yeah.
they had
now that you mentioned, I see it.
Yeah.
If you stand on there, you can see France. And what they used to do, they had to have the guns on there. So when the planes would come over in World War II, they'd be able to see them.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?
What's it like to create these? I mean, because you're not just doing this live with people, you are creating moments that are literally like ripped out of the comic books, but it's you. What's it like for you to really be in that comic kind of field and place?
It's quite cool, really. You're living out your childhood dreams, really. You forget about all the work, the stresses of the work we do, and the busy lives we lead, and it's just filling our cup up, putting smiles on people. It's crazy because we're doing the photo shoots, and somebody be walking past with their dog. What?
Yeah,
it's Superman and Wonder Woman. We're like, yeah.
Yeah. We just recently did some work with Paul. And there's a new Wonder Woman bag come out, and you know, we helped him promote it, and we were walking through Rochester, and you want to see people, they
Double takes.
double take kind of going on. Do you know what I mean? But it's really cool. You know, Barry and I, we just have some fun with it. You know, we just enjoy the process. Don't take it seriously. We just enjoy the process, really. We're probably the worst to work with photographers because we're never really serious.
Now, I want to turn the corner and go to your last visit, because you both work with mental health. Burnout is one of the biggest things. So you are helping people with mental health, professional leaders, health influencers, and then you do this. Did you ever think your two worlds would collide in the way that you help and serve people? Did you ever imagine that happening?
No. But I can definitely see that, you know, our superhero life is definitely evolving. And, you know, I know that I want to do more work in terms of mental health and confidence and helping people. There was just something just recently, a young lad called Aiden, who was bullied for wearing a Spider-Man outfit over in New York. I don't know if you've heard of it, Aiden's Heroes. It's been a huge thing within the community. And, you know, it's almost, you know, it'd be really great to work against the anti-bullying, the confidence, the self-esteem. And I can definitely see it going down that way in the future. Is something that we'd love to be able to do, and you know, encouraging people to bring out their inner superhero. I can see a TED talk in it, do you know what I mean, or something like that, just to get the message out and inspire people to say it's okay to embrace this side of you.
Well, and it's neat because everyone needs a hook. We all need something to stand out from the noise and the crowd. You guys have a great hook, but you also clearly professionally have a much deeper mission.
Yeah.
And you guys can really lever this both ways, which is amazing that it really does blend together very seamlessly. I mean, every year I do an anti-bully presentation virtually. I try to speak on it. I was bullied as a kid because of my stutter. So that type of message you're talking about, Laura, is a huge one. Yeah. Especially for kids that do think about the comic books, the heroes, and the fantasy world, because that's where they go to get away from the bullies.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. And it's something that I would love to be able to talk about a lot more and a lot more openly, because I think this kind of stuff should be taught in schools, really, to be honest with you, you know. So bring out your own inner superhero.
Yeah, I like that. Now, what does it take to create these personas to do this? Because I know there are people that create their own costumes. Now, you guys didn't go that route, or did you ever kind of create your own to begin the process, or did you just dive in and say, we're going to buy the suits, fill the suit, and look the part?
Yeah. I stay in my lane.
I haven't got the patience.
I haven't got the creative skills to build these outfits. Some people are phenomenal, and hats off to them. Fair play. Nice. They spend years building these suits.
I have seen Borg from Star Trek that I'm like, wow. I've been around some celebrities that have played the roles, talking with the cosplayers, and they have said your costume is better than mine ever was.
You know what's amazing? We met a 12-year-old girl at Comic-Con, and she built her own Iron Man out of cardboard. It was amazing. She even had like
spring-loaded face, so she'd flick her head
like that. It was phenomenal.
Cardboard and elastic bands, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can do fixes, Velcro and glue. It is about my level. But Baz and I say we showcase other people's talents. That's
Now, you guys are in a very unique space also in time with the writer's strike, the actor's strike, everything's on stop right now. And I know there was a time where cosplay was kind of free range, but cosplay overall has become a big industry.
Yeah.
Have you been warned, cited? Is there anything that's blurring the lines right now where this shutdown is affecting? I mean, the cosplay world goes on because conventions are going, but the actors can't show up for them. So where do you guys fall?
Yeah, so there was a lot of discussion about should people show up in cosplay, should we be posting online, but there was kind of something that came out to say that, you know, as long as you're not making money or anything like that from it, then it's completely okay to cosplay and, you know, be in outfits and do all this kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Now, let's clarify. You guys don't make money for your charities, but you do big charity stuff.
Yeah. So
how do you straddle that line? Because the demand, I'm sure, is pretty big after a while for you guys. I mean, I'm sure you probably have more requests coming in at times than you could probably legitimately handle.
Yeah, we do have a lot of requests coming in. You know, we do have to turn some down for work commitments, but also for our own mental health and managing our energy. We talk about in Rock Solid, you know, our business about managing your energy. And, you know, just a few weeks ago, we turned down, we were booked to go to the London Film convention, but we were just not having, we just didn't feel
the energy wasn't right for us within us. And sometimes if we're not able to deliver to the people coming to see us, then we won't turn up. We will give people the okay, so we're not coming this week because we need to recharge our own batteries.
So talk about that, because I know as actors, sometimes they say to get in the character, I have to put on the costume, put on the gear. But you're also talking about the energy. You're also talking about your own personal frame of mind. So it's not just put on the gear. There's more going on to really step in and do this well, right?
Yeah.
When we turn up to the Comic Cons or the events, we are 100% committed to the people coming to see us. And if we're not 100%, because it takes a lot of energy to stay in character, and we could be standing in one spot for over an hour with people queuing up for photos. And I don't want to be that person who, not another one. That's not fair on the people coming to see us.
It's a big I personally see it as a big responsibility to wear these outfits. And I'll tell you for one reason, here's a really good story. This didn't happen to us, by the way, but someone told us this story. There was a little lad that got lost at a Comic-Con convention. And his parents had always told him that if he ever gets lost, go and find someone he trusts. And guess who he went and found? He found
cosplayer,
a Superman, right? And so for us, I see it, these are huge responsibilities to wear these outfits. So when we do wear them, you are literally showing up as somebody's idol, as someone's hero. And although it's going to sound big-headed, but I don't mean it to sound that, Barry and I don't have to put too much effort into it because it's naturally who we are, naturally what we do, and naturally just the way we lead our lives. It's still a big responsibility to wear these, I do feel. And I feel it's an honor to wear, you know, what I'm wearing.
That's very interesting, because I know some of my favorite actors / characters, they've talked about the fact they're not just playing a role. Like a lot of the guys that have been in The Hobbit. They know that Hobbit character is sticking with them for the rest of their life. They will never escape that role. I mean, there's only going to be one Frodo forever and forever. There's only going to be one Sam. And they now know that. And they now embrace it and know that we have to treat this with dignity. We have to reserve that, because people now have an expectation, but it's awesome. They now have fun with it. If they really love living in that space and knowing that we did something rare and special.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. And you hear actors speaking about, like, you know, you hear Henry Cavill speak about, you know, how Superman is so close to his heart. You hear Gal Gadot, she says that Wonder Woman is so close to my heart and I love playing the character. And you always hear these things, and we feel that as well, don't we?
It's the way these actors talk, not about the character, but about the suit.
Well, and also the privilege to play certain character, because there is an expectation. Again, I've read comics all my life growing up, still do, but Superman is the original Boy Scout, Clark Kent, but he is the original. He came from another world. He was a stranger from another land, but he embraces us and protects us. Who doesn't want to stand for truth, justice, and the American way, right?
Absolutely.
And
and hope, which is what the S stands for.
Yeah. So there's something more to that when you get the privilege to step into it.
100%. And when you put the suit on, you stand differently.
Yeah.
There is a power within this suit I'm wearing. It does make you stand taller. You walk into a room and you can feel the energy that you give out to the room when you just embrace it. I can't explain it, but it does feel very, very unique.
That's interesting to the psychology, the emotion. I mean, like I've told people, one of the magical things that I've learned about public speaking, being on stage, was somewhere I learned that my shoes, and I'm not a big shoe geek at all. It's tennis shoes and sandals most of my life. But when I get on stage, there's something about like the ruby slippers. My shoes transform me in a mental way that I never, ever imagined.
Yeah.
When I got some high class shoes and stepped on stage for the first time, it was like, wow. I just feel a little more bold and powerful, confident. I don't know what it is, but there's something about taking that on.
Yeah. Well, it's even, Amy Cuddy and a bunch of her kind of colleagues did a study on the power pose, the Wonder Woman power pose, right?
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And they found that when people stand like this, their cortisol levels drop, right? And their testosterone levels go up because it's your psychology affects your physiology. So Barry and I have actually done talks before. We've worn our Wonder Woman and Superman t-shirts, and we've gone on stage and we've taught an audience of disadvantaged teenagers to do the superhero pose, right? And we encourage anybody to do it. So even if you're watching now, I'd encourage you to get up off your chair, put your shoulders back. That's it. Put your hands on your hips and close your eyes and imagine you've got a cape on your back and lift your head up. You feel phenomenal just doing that. So anybody can get that feeling.
I've seen backstage with different speakers and leaders, they do that. They actually stop and they go through poses. And the first couple of times I thought, wow, you're a flipping idiot, man. You're pretty up. And then I've learned about some of the psychology in that pose, that stance, the energy that you're talking about there. There's something in that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Definitely there is. Your physiology affects your psychology.
And your psychology affects physiology.
Absolutely. As well. So stand tall, put those hands on your hips and work it, baby.
James is dropping in here, standing taller when the suit is on. Yeah, he likes the analogy here. So thank you, James, for joining in.
Hi, James.
Much love.
This is great. We have a global reach here today. They're way on the other side of the pond, and it's great to do this through Restream, to be able to connect with people and do this, dress for the role. And interesting, James, that you say that. I've been talking on some of my 2 p.m.s about dressing for the confidence of the camera. A lot of people come to the camera and they're not ready. They don't own the stage. They don't own the camera lens. They don't talk through the lens. And part of it is your dress. It is your cape. This is part of this does help you exude through the camera lens. It's absolutely true. So yes, James, put it on, own it, rock it.
That's one of the things we teach when we're doing the Rock Solid Health work, our main business. If you are feeling low, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling a bit lethargic and a bit negative, go and change your clothes. Put something different on. And just by doing that, it can change the way you feel about yourself. And changing the way you feel changes the way you think and the way you behave. So something really simple by just putting another t-shirt on, putting another pair of trousers, put your special shoes on, just changes so much.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much that ties into so many of the superhero themes of the awkward Peter Parker / Spider-Man, the awkward kid, but he dons the costume and he's flying and leaping and jumping and saving people. And he goes back to being the college student or the high school student, whichever version of Spider-Man you like. And he's back to the guy that's awkward and a geek.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's been happening for years.
Mm-hmm. The right look and and the BVD. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, James, for dropping that in there. You know, as you look at things, and again, you are in London, but it seems like more and more our world is getting smaller and smaller. the ideas that we're all experiencing of the good, the bad, the tough times, the need for hope. Is it an overstatement that we actually need more of this? Am I kind of overreaching? Do you think there's something to the fact we need people to do exactly what you're doing, to find their unique way, bring hope and joy back into everyday life?
100%. I think the world we live in is becoming too fast. We are expecting too much of people all the time, and it's work, it's push, it's hustle, it's push, because we've got to keep up with everybody else. But sometimes we just need to take a step back and just enjoy and create happiness, reduce that drama that we are force fed all the time, because we know negative and drama gets attention, and that everybody's fighting for their attention. But let's see if we can get attention a different way, through positivity, through happiness, through passing the smiles on, through caring, through sending love out to everybody else around us, rather than the negative and the drama that we are force fed through the news and publicity.
See, I don't think we need more hope. I think that we just need to inspire people to bring the hope out inside of them, because we all have hope inside of us. But I think it's that people are not inspired enough.
Do you think people are scared to do it? Scared to let go?
To bring that out in themselves.
That's interesting how you both said it, but the inspiration or giving them permission to step in and grab hope, believe in hope, to step into the future.
Yeah. And that's what the Confidence for Cosplay was all about. It was just about inspiring that person to dig deep and go, yes, and bring it out of them, and that's really what we do in the superhero work and in the rock solid work. When we get somebody in front of us and they're like, oh, can I have a picture? And we're like, yeah, superhero pose. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, you do know. And they go, all right then. And you see hope, you see joy, you see playfulness, you see fun come out in somebody, and you see it in a very brief moment, and that is just an amazing spark in somebody. They'll look back at their picture and they'll always smile.
Well, back to what Barry said a little bit, it's hard to stay in that spot and photo after photo after photo and keep it on. I've been at conventions where I've seen people just walking down, and you'll see someone take a couple photos with somebody, and then the next one's coming up. They're kind of lagging behind, but they want to get that photo, and you can see the person going, "Oh crap, not another one."
Yeah.
And instead of standing there like you were talking about, I'm sure that is crushing for people to think, "Well, you did it for them a minute ago."
We will give everybody their time to have photos and ask questions, so forth. And that's one of the things that before we go out into the public, we say, right, let's go and have a good time.
Pride ourselves in
and
it.
we pride ourselves on not being the person who goes, oh my God, not another one.
You expect it.
Yeah.
You can't walk around like this and for somebody not want to have I would. I've seen people, I've been like, oh, can I have a picture taken with you, please? Do you know what I mean? Because they just look so cool, or I love their outfit or their character. I met a girl, and bless her, she looked exhausted, and she was dressed as Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, which I'd love to do, but I'm not sure I could deal with being in the outfit for that long. And I was just like, oh my gosh, can I have a picture taken with you, please? You look amazing, and I know how that feels from my point of view,
If you were not Wonder Woman, who would be your next go-to character?
Who, if I wasn't one, I would probably say it would either be Michelle Pfeiffer, the Catwoman, or Lara Croft.
Well, now I can see you pulling Lara Croft right away. Boom, I get to see that. Yes. Plus, by the way, people need to know that's not a wig you're wearing. This is mostly your real, authentic hair with hair extension, right? But this is the main part is you.
Everything, my hair is mine. And yes, I put, so it takes me to get ready for this. It took me about an hour to get ready. So my makeup is only 15 minutes or whatever, but my hair takes the longest because I clip in hair extensions, and then I curl them. And I have to say, if anybody's got this much hair naturally, I feel for you. I feel for you because, you know, everybody would have seen me on LinkedIn and, you know, Facebook with my regular hair, but this is just more of it. And yeah, so I did think about getting a wig, but I kind of wanted to keep my natural hair going, really.
Well, I think that's part of the unique thing. I've seen the wigs. They don't lay properly, they don't cover, and it just, you can naturally do so much more because it really is.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really there.
If it's going to rain or it's a bit misty, then my hair will go like Monica's, you know, like really big, which is a bit of a disaster. But, you know, I mean, that's just the war-torn look, right? I would imagine, yeah.
now for Barry, all it takes is him just ripping off the shirt and he's in costume, right? I mean, that's all you got to do.
Telephone box, taxi cab, whatever's there. I'll just get in there, spin around a few times and it's done.
No, actually, who else would you be? Because again, with the first name Barry and the last name Ash, you could easily be Barry Allen and no one would know it, right? I mean, you're Barry Allen.
That is my second favorite character. So Superman is like in my DNA. I feel like Superman and Kal-El, but Barry Allen is a very close second. So yeah, if I had to be anybody else, it would be Barry Allen.
Okay, James thinks you guys could pull off She-Ra and He-Man.
Do you know what?
Only at weekends. I know I could do a good She-Ra. That would be great for me to do. I think James has probably seen me as She-Ra.
We do actually have some friends, and she does She-Ra, and it's full on latex, and she looks phenomenal. It takes her 4 hours to get into the outfit. 4 hours.
That's like a real actor's job.
I
That's
know.
what they do in Hollywood.
That's crazy. So yeah, but a lot of people say to us, "What are your cosplay plans? What are you going to do next? What are you showing up as?" That's what we always get, and we're like,
because a lot of people do multiple characters.
We're like this is what we do. This is all we do, really. And you know, we just don't feel like doing any other characters. We love portraying these characters. We love doing this, and this is kind of what we want to be known for, really, to be honest.
Barry and Laura, we also do really want to highlight your professional career. You guys do amazing work with mental health. You again do that whole thing of burnout, which we talked about last time. You need to go look at the other episode with Barry and Laura talking about burnout. It was an excellent episode. But this is a QR code that take you right to their website to learn more about what they do. But even on your website, you're posting the superhero stuff, guys.
I know, it runs in our DNA. You'll always find something superhero-esque on us, whether it's, as you can see, these are our desks. This is mine over to the right. And then with all the plot, and then this is Barry's over to the left. So yeah, there's always something going on, even if it's a pair of socks.
So tell us about your other business. What exactly do you guys do? What can they learn about you, so forth?
So yeah, we run Rock Solid Health, and we help people overcome burnout. And we do that by looking at the 3 dimensions: mental, physical, and emotional. And we're really invested in being able to help people manage their energy, like we've spoken about, and really just embrace this one life that we get to live and enjoy it. And I suppose the cosplaying, you know, obviously crosses that with us, because I find so many people just get enthralled with work. You know, they forget who they are. They become the job, they become the role, they become the business, and everything else fizzles out. And then there's no enjoyment. They hit burnout. So we really help them to, you know, start to embrace their life. So we have that side of things. And then we also help people generally with their health and their well-being. You know, they know what they need to do, but they're just not doing it. Mm-hmm. We can also help them, you know, with that side of it as well.
Well, thank you again for both being here, and thanks for sharing the behind the scenes of cosplay. And because it really does blend your 2 universes, it really is the same message. You're just leveraging a different form to present the message that you do professionally every day.
Definitely, absolutely. And we it's a privilege, it's an honor. We love doing it.
It's easy for us because it's what we do. This is our life, really. We live our 6 pillars of health and well-being. It's who we are, not what we do, but it's who we are. We always focus on health and well-being, whether it comes to wearing these costumes or in our business or in our personal life with our friends and family. It's it's who we are more. So it becomes easy.
Barry, Laura, Ash, thank you both for being here today in costume. Look, everybody, they stood up the whole time in full costume because they can't sit. But thank you. You guys rock this again. And please let me know when you make it over here in October because we would love to see you face to face. Maybe get some actual photos with Trigger.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We are in
your Trekkie suit.
Yes.
There we go. Thank you, guys.
We're the 10th to the 18th of October. So we're at the Comic-Con there, and we cannot wait.
Send me the information. We'd love to connect. Thank you both for being here again. Again, this has been a special edition of How the Rock Stage Live today. We blurred it together with 2 p.m. live, How to Rock Stage Live. Brought them both together for a special live streaming event today. And we do want to thank once again the National Speakers Association, the NSA, for making this all possible. The NSA helps speakers grow and expand, learn the craft better so they can make a greater influence on their stage. Learn more about the National Speakers Association. And again, this is powered by Audivita Studios. What they're going to do with their amazing team is they're going to turn this into the audio podcast that will stream on multiple platforms. You will find this on replay on many of the streaming channels and, of course, on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, let me share that with you real quickly here so you can have a chance to hit the QR code, get the follow-up, go find the rerun that we have with Barry and Laura talking about their mental health company and what they do with everything they do. Again, and there's so much more to help you elevate you and your brand. Our mission here at Rock to Stage Media to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, and to help you elevate your brand so that you can make the greater impact, just like we were talking about here today. They have a brand, and it's really about mental health, wellness, burnout. But part of that brand is they get to be superheroes, inspiring other people, and it really does work, as we've seen them talk about all day long here today. That's going to do it for today. We'll be back on Monday for 2 p.m. live at the regular time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, streaming on multiple channels. And we'll be back for How to Rock the Stage Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, have a great weekend. I'm the Trigger, Rich Bontrager. Thanks for joining us here today.